FML. FML. Like, where do I even begin? Ugh. That is going to be a tough one to swallow. Another 4-1 defeat to the Scum, this time on our own patch, in front of our own fans, just embarrassed, just humbled again, just second best in every aspect of the game, on and off the pitch. It's just, oh, seriously, like the three words that come to mind for me, and maybe this gets me banned because it's a certain type of joke you shouldn't make online, but basement, whiskey, shotgun. When the game started, I kind of had a little bit of like, you know what? Maybe. Because like, you had 60,000 fans in the stadium. They were up for it. They were excited. They were behind the team. You had that big tifo, and you're thinking like, okay, like the Scum dropped points to Wolves, who were bottom of the table earlier that week. Maybe they're feeling a little bit apprehensive. If we can start the game off quick, get at them, and just show some fight, we might be able to wobble their mentality. But no siree, Bob. Very quickly, they took control of the game. They played it at their pace. They dictated the speed. They dictated the tenacity. And eventually, they scored the first goal. And I'm thinking, oh, god damn, here we go again. But to the credit of Tottenham, about 3 minutes later, they came right back up the pitch. Mwani stole the ball from Rice in the Scum area, the Scum box, in the Scum penalty box, and he scored 1-1. He's like, great, like surely now they're feeling a little bit nervous, a little bit like, you know, like let's get on top of them. Let's throw some dirt in their face. Let's make it uncomfortable for them. Like let's use these 60,000 fans to like really push them back on their heels, and didn't really bother the Scum. They took control of the game again. They settled it down. They took the crowd out of it. They knew when to break up play with technical fouls. They knew when to take a foul and have the whistle blown and just get the game broken up and stopped. And it was very just couldn't get any momentum going. Couldn't get forward. Like we only had a couple touches in the box, so it's like we got nothing going after that goal. But we got into halftime, and it's like, okay, it's 1-1. You know, like let's see if we can regroup. Let's see what Igor Tudor can say to the lads at halftime. See if he can get them up for it, get them motivated, and say, you know what, 45 minutes. You don't need to be the best team, and you don't need to be the better team for the entire game. You don't need to be the better team for the entire season. Be the better team for 45 minutes. Go out there, show what you can do. You're defending Europa League champions. You got players like Van der Ven, players like Xavi Simons, players like Gallagher, who are good players. Like let's take this game by the scruff of the neck, and 2 minutes in, Scum score. And it's like, and obviously, who scores 2 goals in the game? Eze. This close to signing the Spurs in the offseason. Begged the Scum, please take me. I don't want to go to Tottenham. And then ever since then, it's just been misery for us. Like 3 goals in the first game, 2 goals in the game that just passed. He's only scored 6 goals this season, 5 against us. He's already up there in like the leaders for all-time goal scorers in the North London Derby. And what's the most frustrating thing is he's had kind of a crap season. Like this move, with the exception of these 2 games against Spurs, has not worked out at all. Like it wouldn't have shocked me if, take away these 2 games, if the fans hounded him out at the end of the season. Like their fans, now that their owners and their board are like constantly upgrading players. Like if they got a A- player, boom, they'll upgrade him to an A+ player the next summer. I think their fans probably would have hounded him out, but now he's going to be a cult hero. He's going to be a legend, right? They'll probably keep him around for 4 or 5 years just for these North London derbies, just to put us to the sword. I think, and I don't think this completely changed the game because I think the Scum still would have won, but 2-1 down, ball goes in the box. Mawani and Gabrielle both leap for it. Mawani slightly puts his hands on Gabrielle's back. Gabrielle falls to the floor, barely touched him. Mawani scores, but the ref pulls it back. It's a foul, no goal, and it's like if the shoe was on the other foot and Gabrielle barely touched Mawani went down, he probably would have and should have been booked for simulation. So like, and earlier in the season when Ekatike, same type of play, went up with the ball with Romero, was more of an egregious shove, and the goal stood, and then the narrative from the commentary for the rest of that game, and even throughout the week on podcasts, is Romero wasn't strong enough. Romero didn't have enough nerve to hold his ground. But when it happens to Spurs, when it happens to us, it's a foul, restart the game, and again, I really don't believe that would have made a huge difference because the Scum were just a better team. But we could have at least used that as a point in the match to like, okay, the season's going against us, the calls are going against us, injuries are going against us. Let's use this moment, let's rally, and let's take it to them. Let's not die lying down. What do they do? What does Tottenham do? The players just their shoulders drop, their heads go down, and they just hide. They show no fight, no determination, like nothing. And the Scum just rolled us from then. It made it look easy. Eze again, 2 goals. Gyökeres, who some people were up and down on, he's got 15 goals this season. I mean, I love a 15-goal scorer at Spurs, but Gyökeres had 2 goals, and they just made easy work for us. And it's got me really apprehensive for the rest of the season because I don't see any fight in this team. I don't see players who are willing to get down in the mud, get their fingernails dirty, and claw and fight their way out of this hole. They just don't have it in them. Like, I have an expression I used to use with my buddy is we need them to be hung. We got no players on the team who are hung. And by hung, I mean, work hard, be gritty, have that sandpaper toughness. Like, that's being hung, You get home from a vacation, get home from the airport at 2 a.m., you want to put your bags down and go to bed? No. You unpack your bags, you do all the laundry. While the laundry's in the wash, you tidy up the kitchen, throw out any old stuff in the fridge. That's being hung. Just working hard now, so a day, a week, a month, a year down the line, right? Everything's easier because you've put in that grind, you've put in that hustle. I just don't see many players on the Spurs team who are willing to do that. Like, I love Van der Ven. That clearance in Bilbao will be a moment that will stick with me forever. But like, I just don't know if he wants to be with the team anymore. He just doesn't seem like he's up for it. And like, none of our midfield, like, they run. That's about it. Like, none of them can make any progressive passes. None of them can hold the ball. Like, it's just, there just seems to be like a real lack of any real player on the team who can take them by the scruff of the neck and say, this way, lads. I mean, Romero's that guy, and he's our captain, and I love him, but he's an absolute nutcase, Like, he's suspended for 4 games for a tackle he did a couple of games ago. I think he's still one more yellow card away from getting another lengthy booking. And like, all it's going to take is us to come up against a team that has a single Brazilian player on the team. And Romero hates Brazilians. He has no problem wrapping 6 studs around the ankle of a Brazilian and putting them on the injured list. He seems to thrive on winning World Cups with Argentina and breaking Brazilian ankles. I kind of like it, to be honest. I rate it. Definitely rate it. Well, like I said, I don't know what the rest of the season now looks like. It's going to be a real dogfight to get out of this. We're probably going to need 3 or 4 wins, and like, our away games are Fulham, which I'll talk about in a second, We got a away game against Liverpool, probably going to be a loss. Away game against Chelsea, probably going to be a loss. And I can't recall what the other one is. So it's going to have to be the home games. We got a home game against Palace in about a week and a half. Like, we're going to need to try to get 3 points there. We got a home game against Leeds. Going to need to try to get 3 points there. I believe our away game is a Wolves, bottom of the table. We should try to get something there, but even they're showing a bit of fight. So, I don't know. But whatever, if we can somehow manage to pull ourselves out, not get relegated, then contention, gotta go. Johan Langa, gotta go. The board has just got to go. We need to find a director of football who wants to find a certain philosophy, hire a coach for that philosophy, sign up players for that philosophy, invest into the team with that philosophy. We need to actually have a plan and stick with it. Like, we go from this type of manager to that type of manager to this type of manager to that type of player to this type of philosophy, and we're going all over the map. Let's try to spend some money and be like the bigger clubs. Doesn't work. Let's go the Brentford Brighton model and use data. It's that's not who we are. We uncover young gems, bring them to the Premier League. They light it up for a few seasons. We sell them on for a massive profit, and we go again. We need to get back to what worked for us in the Pochettino era and that Harry Redknapp area. Players who play with some conviction and some charisma and some excitement, some flair, but also players who are up for the fight. Players who are willing to, like I said, get their hands dirty, get down in the mud, and they just don't have that. They do have an opportunity to right the wrong this Sunday away to Fulham, Craven Cottage. It's going to be tough. Marco Silva's a good coach. He's got his team playing well. They're up to 10th. Only a couple places away from a European spot, and that'd be a massive accomplishment for Fulham. So it's gonna be tough. I really want to say let's bounce back, let's get 3 points. But at this rate, I take a point. Point away on the road, Craven Cottage. Nothing to look your nose down at, nothing to sniff at. I am worried about a couple of their players. Iwobi, Smith Rowe, both former Scum players. They'd absolutely love to heap more crap on us and heap more of a nightmare on us and just more misery. Misery loves company. So Spurs fans gonna need to stick together on this one. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. I want to thank everybody who's subscribed already, who's left me some positive comments, positive reviews. I know a couple of people have come over from a guy I work with, my buddy Steve, has sent them over from a show he does, so I appreciate that. I've gotten a bit of love from people, making me feel good, so I appreciate that. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, leave a question, leave some criticism if you want to. Fashion advice, I'm trying to learn how to cook. You got some cooking advice. Anything you want to leave it below. I'll try to get to it in the next episode and, engage a bit more, grow a bit more, try to be a bit more loose and, a bit more natural. It still feels a little bit like I'm performing to an audience of one. So that's something I'm definitely going to work on, but it's just been a brutal week, especially at the Scum loss, and preceding that was the States beating Canada for the gold medal in the hockey. So it's let this week just end, finish a couple more days at the gym, go get a double cheeseburger from somewhere and just pretend like this week never existed. But in the meantime, in between time, I hope you guys all have a fantastic week. Thanks for the love, and come on, you Spurs.